My name's Rod Gamble. I'm 70 years old, nearly 71 in about 2 weeks' time. I was general manager for a large parcel company, now retired. It started about 7 years ago. I was golfing in France and I collapsed. I wasn't ill, if that makes sense, but I come all over a sweat and then I realised I was on the floor. If I was honest, I thought I probably had too much wine the night before. Got back into the UK and the same thing happened again. I was then took into hospital from that second time, and we decided that I needed, my heart had slowed right down, that I needed a pacemaker fitted, which obviously they duly did. After about 6 or 7 weeks I had to have it redone because the actual wire, pacing wire, moved, which resulted in me being short of breath and quite weak really. In September of last year I had to have the procedure done again because the actual batteries were running quite low in the actual original pacemaker, which they did. It come then to round about Christmas time, then I started having a lot of swelling round the wound. I went to the doctors for on two or three occasions and they gave me various tablets, which did do the trick, but then within a week again it's gradually all swelled up again. I wasn't in a lot of pain or anything like that, but it was quite sore. Then I got up one morning and I could feel something running down my chest. And when I looked in the mirror, the wound had actually split open and the pacing wire had come out my chest.
He wasn't well, and I knew he'd got a problem. So I took him in the car to A&E. The doctor came to see him and was looking at his chest. But while he was laying on the bed, I started to shout because I could see his chest opening up more and more, and this wire was coming right out of his chest. And they said that he'd got to stop in because they were so frightened that the wire would move. Because it was just, everything was so, don't know, violent. It was awful. And they kept him in on a drip for 4.5 weeks.
All our children live in Northamptonshire, of course, and I live in Humberside, which made it very, very difficult for them to come and see me. They did manage a couple of times, but it was quite upsetting really for all of us. It wasn't sort of getting the actual pacing box out, it was the actual wire that got to come out. And it's not a procedure which is commonly done, and it had to be done by a specialist who had some sort of knowledge of doing it really.
Nobody could do anything. They couldn't even get the wire, change the wire. But Mr. Pepper could. He said he'd take him on. And then he was moved to Leeds.
When the procedure was done on the Friday, the agreed plan was that on the Monday, Mr. Pepper would see me again to give me the time when they were going to fit the pacemaker on the other side, on my right-hand side. But on that occasion, when he did come and see me on the Monday, he asked me then if I was agreeable to have this new Micra fitted.
When he had the chance to get this Micra fitted, I was just relieved. So
the questions really I asked the surgeon when he was, how obviously would it do? He did explain to me that the procedure would be that this would be done through my groin, so obviously there's no wires again. It would be done in probably about half an hour. I was completely conscious. Medtronic came and visited me while I was in hospital. They again explained the procedures and sort of give me general encouragement, of course. The operation or the procedure was done on the Friday afternoon. Certainly no pain whatsoever. The only thing I felt was when he gave me the injection in my thigh, but that was it really. So it was a completely sort of an eventful occasion really, because it was, because there was nothing there to any disadvantages at all. It was really a straightforward sort of thing which lasted, I think, about 20 minutes, that's all it was. Mr. Pepper came in and see me Saturday morning. He walked me around basically and he said, we'll go for a walk and just to see, and then they was going to put some tests on it to make sure everything was working okay. He said, no, you're fine. Everything was, they'd done the test obviously with their bit of kit and go home, and that was it. The major benefits are that there's no wire, so I can't have this problem again. The thing's up there now, and from my understanding from Dr. Pepper, if anything goes wrong with it, we'll just stick another one up, and that's it. Simple as that. I was advised certainly not to play golf with the old pacemaker for at least 6 weeks because of movement of the pacing wire, which did happen as it happened. But with this, you know, Mr. Pepper said, well, as soon as you're ready, you can basically play because nothing can move basically. So that's a major benefit as far as I'm concerned. And I would have thought a major benefit anybody who say working or anything, of course, that virtually they could more or less start work straight away. And my wife Jackie, well, I don't know what I'd done without her really, because it's quite a trauma when you're in hospital for such a long time. It must have been quite an experience for that somebody who, I love very much.
When you talk about this new Micra, it's absolutely why I sing its praises, because nobody's seen what I've seen. I thought he was going to die. I really did. I thought I'd lost him. I've told everybody about this wonderful product. I would recommend it to anybody, and I just hope that a lot of people get the chance to have done what Rod has had done.
Anybody who asked me, would they have it done? Well, you couldn't refuse because you're obviously saving my life anyway. And without the complications, what go with it, of course, that's the main thing.